Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I want to show you about living in America. I left my first home in Jakarta, Indonesia to continue my life journey here in the United States. Up until now, here in USA, I've seen and experienced many things. I've tried some food and drinks, seen lots of beautiful and breathtaking sceneries, experienced life in 4 seasons, met and made friends with lots of people, and of course shopping. Even though it's only for grocery shopping or thrifting for second-hand find. Do you want to know more about my experience? Let's check it out. Hi guys, how are you today? Let's follow along with me in this part 2 of my winter holiday in Pennsylvania. Several days before I arrived, it was snowing there. As you can see, the snow was really thick on the side of the road. By the time I arrived, there was some snow here and there, but most of it was already melted. It was also gloomy, rainy, and snowy for a little while. This was when I and my family went out for grocery shopping. It was so cold, but here people have heaters built in their cars, so it helps a lot. Finally, the next day was sunny. The sky was bright and the view was beautiful. I and my family were on our way to several places, but first, look at that view. My family lived on the riverside and there were some hills across the river. Do you remember my story on part 1 when I woke up and looked at this view outside the bedroom window? I love it. First stop was a cemetery. We wanted to visit the cemetery where my family's ancestors were buried. And I also learned about some of my family history back in the day. The cemetery is in the middle of the city. There are some housing complexes, gas stations, shops, and restaurants nearby.
Yeah, as in once upon a time they did a lot of was coal mining.
Still there.
Well, they still do. Some of them are still abandoned, but yeah, the mountains here have a lot of coal deposit. And this is the town of Halifax.
Halifax.
Yes.
And this is the place where people can do a lawful game hunting. The main game animals in the area include bear, deer, turkey, and other animals that are overpopulating. We stopped for a while on the creek side. In this place, people can park their cars, walk around, and enjoy the scenery.
Come on, Fluffy, Fluff.
After that, we went to another place. The place was an antique market, but this antique market is unique. Why? Because there is also a museum in it. Yup, inside this two-story building, there were vintage and antique booths and also a museum. I saw an old phone booth, some classic cars such as old taxi cab, police car, and trucks, memorabilia of an old restaurant, arcade machines, and many more. Back in the day, this building was a sled factory. So there were some memorabilia of old sleds in different shapes and sizes. We also can read some old brochures next to each sled that provide us with some information about each of these old sleds. By the exit door, there is a booth that has a vintage TV that still works. Interesting.
Your parents still have one of these?
And here's some vintage antique booths on the first floor. The first floor is divided into two areas, one for vintage antique booths and the other one is for museum. There are some more booths on the whole area on the second floor. They sell vintage antique jewelry, dishes, clothes, lamps, furniture, cans, and many more. It was fun roaming around in this antique market. I couldn't capture everything because this market is so huge. So please do come visit this antique market if you are nearby, so you can enjoy the experience too. This was my trip for this day. It was so fun and it was dinner time. We had deer steak for the main course and some slices of birthday cake for dessert. Yes, happy birthday to me! We also tried another kind of kettle cooked potato chips that we bought earlier. This morning was the end of my trip to PA. It was time for me to go back home. We left in the morning around 9 a.m. The weather was gloomy again. It was in the beginning of January. People still enjoyed their New Year holiday, so the traffic was light. Look, on the right side of the road, there were lots of custom-built trailers for sale. Not long after that, the weather was good. The sky was brighter, even though it was a little bit cloudy. Now that the sun was out, everything looks bright and beautiful. In the late afternoon, I finally reached the state where I live. Here we can see the beautiful sunset. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. Tell me what you think about my trip. What do you think about the antique market that has a museum in it? Interesting, isn't it? Well, see you in the next episode. Bye guys!